Hello everybody, this is Jim Parker with Cavalry Long Rifles, and today I'm going to continue with this little series that I've started on a custom hand-built Charley Bean rifle. Previously I did a couple of videos on making the Charley Bean patch box. And today I wanted to show you that patch box installed, and in addition we're going to inlay the silver nameplate into the top of the barrel. This was a customary feature that was found on a lot of the Bean rifles, and I decided to do it on this rifle. And in the process, I'll show you how to inlay the silver into the top of the steel barrel, and then we'll engrave it. Okay. And as I found out with the first couple of videos, it takes a lot longer to do this than I have time to show it to you on the video. So I'll try to show you the main features, and unfortunately we have to skip a lot of the handwork, which is probably a little boring for y'all anyway, but I'll show you the process that I go through to do that. This, if I can get it over here in the camera, is the installed patch box on the rifle. Still got a little woodwork to do around the patch box, but this is the installed box. And before we were making the hinge, and I wanted to show you how that worked on the gun. You can see I put the release in here, and you see my little hinge works very well, and my spring in there, I got a good spring. It's popping the lid up very well, so that's a handmade item also. One of these days I'll do a little video on how to make those springs, but I just wanted to show you that the patch box was installed and that it does work, and works very well. So anyway, we'll get started with the inlay process. So the first thing that I have to do is I have a sheet of coin silver that I use, and it's about a 32nd of an inch thick. I'm not sure exactly what gauge that is, and just a little bit narrower than the top flat on the barrel. And we'll inlay this between the breech and the rear sight. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing today, and hopefully you'll find this a little bit interesting. So that's where we're going to go next. Here I have the sheet silver, the coin silver sheet that I cut the inlay that we're going to put in the barrel from, and I get that from Rio Grande, and it's they call it sterling silver, but it's almost the exact same silver content as the coin silver that was used in colonial America. Okay. What I've done here, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've laid a center line out on the barrel, and that's the first step of doing the inlay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my inlay on top of the barrel and position it on the center line, and then I'm going to take a felt marker and I'm going to mark around the outside edge of this inlay, and that way that's where I will make my cuts in the top of the barrel. We'll excavate the channel that this inlay is going to sit in, because that's what we have to do. We have to actually cut a channel into the barrel so we can let this inlay down into it. And let's see, I didn't get my mark on top of the barrel on that side. Let's do this again. There we go, that's better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just to the inside edge of my outline. And to start the cut, uh, I'm going to be using a V-graver. This is a 10 or a 120 degree graver that I've got shaped with a parallel heel. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go inside my line here, and I'm going to cut a groove all the way around, and I'm going to tilt my graver just a little to the inside, and that'll make me have a groove that gives me a shoulder that will protect the edge. Then I'm going to come back with a flat graver and deepen my channel. Come back with this flat graver. I don't know if you can see that or not. And I'll come back in here and I'll excavate all that metal out down to a depth that is the thickness, or almost the same thickness as my inlay. Alright, so that's where we're going to start. Get my compressor turned on here. Now, back in the day, they'd have done this with hammer and chisel, but hammer and chisel engraving work and inlay work is hard on my hands, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore, so I've gone to the hair engraver, and that helps me a considerable amount. So we're going to do just a little bit of that to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Right, I've got the outline done. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to crosshatch with my graver. Come back and crosshatch this way, and that'll give me a guide on how deep I'm going when I take my flat in there to excavate out. And I'll probably have to do that a couple of times to get the actual depth that I need. So I'm going to stop the video there, and because that gives you an idea of how I get the inlay started. And then I've just got to work my way down, and it's a tedious process. So when I get to the actual putting the inlay in, I will start the video again and show you how I set the inlay in place. Okay, here I have the channel cut. I have the edge. Let's see if I can get down here where it's at. Undercut. So it's a little chamfer underneath the outside edge. And then I have the middle crosshatched. And that aids in grabbing that silver and keeping it in place once it's hammered in place. So now we're going to go to the vise and install the silver. Alright, I've got my channel cut. I've got my inlay material, and we're fixing to seat it in the channel. Get it positioned in the channel, and I'm going to use my little cross peen here that's got somewhat of a polished face so I don't scar the silver too much, and we're just going to start tapping it in. I'm going to start at this end and work to the other, and just kind of work it in a little bit. You can see how it's starting to grab. Here you can see I have the inlay, the silver inlaid into the metal, into the channel. And it's just roughed in right now, and I'm fixing to go file it and clean it up and then it'll be ready to engrave. Okay, here I have the inlay dressed and filed flush and sanded, and you can see it turned out pretty nice. So now I'm going to lay out the engraving and engrave the inlay. Okay, folks, I've got the barrel inlay made. Uh, we installed it, we roughed it in, then we filed it out, and I showed that to you in the segment just a little bit earlier. Now I'm getting ready to do the engraving, and I'm going to do most of the engraving with these two gravers. This is a 120 V graver with a parallel heel. Try to show you that heel. I don't know whether you can actually see it or not. And a number 37 flat graver. Okay, and that's what I'll be cutting these letters with. And I'm just going to show you my setup here. This is my engraving vise, this is my microscope, and this is my lamp that puts light on it, but you can see it kind of bleaches things out, so I'm not going to do that till I get ready. But I'm going to go ahead and do the engraving. I'm not going to record that process, and I'll show you what it looks like when we get through. Okay, folks, here's the final product. Let me see if I can get it over here for you, where I've engraved the nameplate, J. Parker, for Tim Cosby, the date 2015, and then my little crosses. See if I can get it in here for you. Yeah, so I can get that where you can see it. My crosses, J. Parker for Tim Cosby, 2015. There's another set of crosses. And that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned a little bit of something. And as always, I hope that the Lord protects you, protects your family, keep you all safe, that you get a chance to come back and see me again. Appreciate you stopping by and visiting my videos. Talk to you later.